know. Just like home. Okay, great. Thank you very much, everyone, and welcome. My name is Mike McCarron. I'm the Executive Director. I have the great privilege and honor to be the Executive Director of the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum, and I'm very happy you could join us on this special day. The USS Hornet is a special ship. It's a museum, it's a ship, it's a state and national historic landmark, and we're very proud that you've joined us with us today. We have for you what I think will be a wonderful and unique experience that will allow us not just to learn about history, but to actually talk to those who lived it and made it. We have the opportunity first because of our sponsor, Kaiser Permanente. They're paying for this for us, so we appreciate them. Thank you to Kaiser. I also want to thank the lovely Wahine Yui back there who are doing the hula for us. Thank you. They definitely brought us that wonderful aloha spirit. I wish they could have brought some aloha temperatures with them, but we'll take the spirit. Join us today from Congresswoman Barbara Lee's office is Jane Thapa. Thank you. Where are you, Jane? Thank you very much for attending. I also want to recognize some people here in the front row. All of our World War II veterans. Could you stand or at least raise a hand, please? Thank you. The World War II vets. So much has changed in our world over the past 76 years, and there's no greater indication of that change, and no doubt a change for the better, than our first speaker this morning. During my years in the Navy, I personally spent a lot of time in Japan, from Misawa in the north to Atsugi and Kamisea near Tokyo, all the way down to Okinawa. So I know the area very well, and I'm very honored and humbled today to introduce today the Consul General of the Japanese Consulate in San Francisco, the Honorable Jun Yamada. Mr. Yamada, would you join me, please?
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jun Yamada. I'm Consul General of Japan in San Francisco. I am deeply humbled and honored to participate in today's ceremony to commemorate Pearl Harbor Day. I'd like to extend my sincere thanks to Executive Director Mike McCarron, his dedicated staff and volunteers, the Board of Directors of the USS Hornet Sea, Air, and Space Museum, and all the audience members present for allowing me to be here today. The early morning of December the 7th, 1941, remains as one of the most tragic and regrettable moments in the history of Japan. On behalf of the people and government of Japan, I'd like to offer, with profound respect, our eternal condolences to the souls who lost their lives on this fateful day, as well as the souls of countless people who became victims of war in the following years. Not only unleashing enormous bloodshed and devastation in the battlefields, this single act of Japan to initiate war against the United States directly triggered the incarceration of and other unspeakable hardship for Japanese American people in this country. Japan ultimately paid for this reckless act in total defeat and utter devastation. The whole country was literally burned to the ground. However, in the wake of such animosity and bloodshed, the United States demonstrated true magnanimity and extended a real helping hand to the people of Japan. It was only thanks to the gifts from the United States, such as food, clothing, and other essentials, that the Japanese people managed to survive their first winter after the defeat. Even more significantly, the United States urged Japan to revive democratic principles in the country, which were lost in the course of its pre-war years. We shall be eternally grateful for that. Once bitter enemies, today our countries have become allies with deep and strong bonds rarely found anywhere in world history. A remarkable transformation if we think of hostilities prior to that. Most significantly, our relationship has been evolving not only through diplomatic efforts of both nations, but even more significantly, through grassroots efforts by so many people since the end of the war. Last year, the 75th anniversary since the fateful initiation of hostilities between our countries was marked by two significant events. In May, the US President and Japanese Prime Minister stood together in front of the Hiroshima Peace Memorial. Then in December, Prime Minister Abe reciprocated by visiting the USS Arizona Memorial at Pearl Harbor, again with President Obama. On this occasion, Prime Minister Abe reaffirmed our national pledge to ensure that such a tragedy will never be repeated. These events demonstrated the degree of reconciliation our two countries have managed to attain. Today, the unshakable Japan-US alliance forms the ultimate cornerstone of peace, freedom, and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region. The two countries now stand on the same universal standards and values, united in their efforts to safeguard them into humankind's future. Amid an increasingly difficult and volatile security environment in the vicinity of our country, Japan will only continue to enhance and expand our crucial cooperation with the United States even further. Visiting this precious museum provides us with an ideal occasion and motive to reflect upon the biggest tragedy in the history of humankind, as well as the extraordinary transformation which followed. The peace and freedom we all enjoy today exists solely thanks to such enormous sacrifices made during the war. Once again, on behalf of people and government of Japan, I'd like to humbly remember those who lost their lives in the war with utmost respect and sorrow. In doing so, we'd like to renew our determination to maintain this indispensable alliance with the United States of America for the sake of peace and prosperity in the Asia-Pacific region, as well as in the world. Thank you very much for this opportunity to address all of you today here.
Thank you very much, Consul General Yamada. We appreciate those wonderfully warm and kind words.